Well, when I came to New York, 52nd Street, which was also known as Swing Street, was on the downgrade. It had some very high moments, but at that time, when I arrived on the scene, perhaps late 43, early 44, it was not on the same level that it used to be. And still, there were people working on the street like Charlie Parker with his group, with Dizzy Gillespie, Max Roach playing drums, and Bud Powell playing piano. And they're playing something called Bebop, as you may have heard about, which I don't agree with that name. I don't like it, but it describes. I don't think it dignifies the style enough. I think it denigrates the style because it sounds as if it's a throw-off. And the style that is called quote-unquote bebop is a very serious style of music. It requires a great deal of agility and flexibility to play and a knowledge of harmony that most people don't realize. This example that I'm going to use to illustrate the point is how a melody can be changed over time. Now, this particular tune, this tune called How High the Moon, has become sort of like a musician's Bible. The arrangers and musicians used to play what they call lines. They would then play substitute melodies or improvise melodies based on the original melody and the original harmony, and it would become something that had very little, if no relation, to the original melody. A case in point is this one. There was a line written on How High the Moon that goes something like this. Of course, now, that particular style is called bebop. Don't forget the melody is... So that the line goes... That's a form of improvisation. Spontaneous improvisation is when you don't have a line to work with, but you play... You try to play lines that correspond with the harmonic pattern. And of course, you have to know what the harmonic pattern is before you can improvise. That's why I guess the bebop style caught on, because I think performers began to pay more attention to the harmonic background. So they used to make their solos correspond to the harmony underneath the line. Because without the harmony, you're just playing, I guess, what they call free music today. You know, there's no pattern. It's just you can play anything you want to. But I think that's at odds with what I like to think of as music, because to me, music consists of melody, rhythm, and harmony. And if it lacks any one of those three elements, then it's not music anymore. We always had a piano in the house. We had, and first it was a player piano. We were playing piano rolls. And I think both my mother and father, being musical, they thought it might be a good idea to teach the children how to play the piano, you know. And so we got a lot of inspiration from my parents, as well as those piano rolls that we used to listen to, you know. And we had a great variety of records. Some of the piano rolls were made by people like Fats Waller, James P. Johnson, people like that, well-known pianists. So you're listening to the very best available at that time, you know. That was before the day of high-fidelity recording and so forth. But these pianists, they were very expert at what they did. And you could learn a lot just by listening to them. That's part of my learning experience as well, you know.
How did it go?
My mother, I think my mother she sort of pushed for piano lessons. My father liked music. He thought music should only be played in the church, though. And he thought the jazz was work of the devil. He may have been right about that. I guess you'd say most of the members of our family were musical. I had 3 older sisters, all of whom played the piano, and 2 younger sisters, neither of whom played the piano, but sang. They sang. But everybody sang. My mother and father both sang, and my mother also played the piano. My father played guitar, but not professionally.